Water is life. This remains the undisputable, succinct description of the importance of water. Its absence or access is like a matter between life and death. Despite the abundant raw water in Nigeria, for Nigerians, including those in the riverine communities, it's a case of living by the riverbank and washing one's hands with spittle. A worrisome statistics recently released show that the percentage of Nigerians that are having access to pipe-borne water has declined from 31% in 1990 to less than 7% in 2015.
This means the majority of the remaining 93% are drawing water from sources that cannot guarantee awesomeness.
Water supply in Nigeria is a responsibility shared between the three tiers of government: federal, state and local. While the federal government is in charge of water resources management, state governments have the primary responsibility for urban water supply, and local governments together with communities are responsible for rural water supply. Clearly, the federal government has not only been playing its primary role of providing bulk water, it has also gone further to build water treatment plants and also transmission and distribution networks in some cases. However, the complementary role of operation and maintenance has largely suffered in the hands of the state governments.
The fact that we are even collaborating with the state government when it is not the responsibility of the federal government to do it. Federal government goes out of its way, like the instance we have just cited, okay? And we are also doing other projects like the P-Wash. These are all targeted at meeting the SDG goals.
A clear example is the case of a central Ogbia regional water supply scheme. After Ogbia local government area experienced firsthand the effect of a waterborne disease when its communities lost about 30 people to cholera, the federal government, through the Ministry of Water Resources, responded with a special intervention project located in Otuoke to provide potable water to the host community, 12 other communities, and parts of Yenagoa, the state's capital. The project, awarded in August 2011, was one of the ongoing ones prioritized for completion under the leadership of Engineer Suleiman Adamu as Minister of Water Resources. With the commitment of the Buhari administration, the project was completed with 6 high steel tanks, a water treatment plant, 2 power generating sets and 3 distribution stations. And then, with fanfare, the project was commissioned on September 8, 2016.
A round of applause.
Wow! Pure water!
Essentially, is for to get a commitment from the Bayelsa State government that they are going to continue to keep this plant in operation and in mint condition. They will operate and maintain, do the necessary maintenance as and when due, so that we do not get a white elephant project in the end. The project has to be sustained so that the people can benefit from it.
Because Governor Henry Seriake Dixon believes in taking the dividends of democracy right down to the grassroots of the people, he is very, very happy, willing, ready and able to plug into this wonderful project by the federal government. And so we have taken it over. We will ensure that it works and it is enduring.
However, after taking over from the federal government, Bayelsa State government has not taken up its obligation of running and maintaining the project for the benefit of the people. Damabi Afeni, like many in the community, had hoped all of their water challenges had come to an end. Alas, our thirst and yearning for potable water remains unquenched.
Starting from that day until now, no water. There is no water. We want government to take care of this place, to come and look about it, so that the community will have water.
Be that as it may, the people of Otuoke and the people in other potential benefiting communities continue with their search for water and survival. In the absence of water from the Ogbia Water Project, the people collect rainwater and others rely on the rivers for their daily use of water.
And that river, that inside this river, now where then they sit, where then they throw away dustbin, we are drinking, we are using this water to bath newborn baby.
Water, if not the river, we for don't die finish for water. No water for the community. We are drinking from the river.
The situation brings one to ask how the well-intended Central Ogbia Regional Water Supply Scheme failed to achieve its goals. A visit to the facility provided answers, as the administrative block and staff quarters within the vicinity are under lock and key, indicating lack of use. Another sad instance in this regard is the Owena Multipurpose Dam. After more than 10 years of completing the dam and 7 years after completion of the water treatment plants, the dam designed to provide potable water to Akure and 32 other towns in 6 local government areas of Ondo and Ekiti states have not been put into use.
And what is left to be done is for the state government to put investment into the transmission line that will take the water from the scheme, pump it, we take it to the reservoir, and then they will also put distribution network or connect it to the existing distribution network so that water can get to the people. And while the state have made some efforts, in the past government, contracts were awarded and then was terminated because they said they couldn't fund it. They didn't have enough money, to continue with it. We have the case of Enugu, where federal government has also invested a huge sum of money, and yet the scheme has been run down at no time.
These instances represent what lack of synergy among the 3 tiers of government does to plans intended to provide potable water in urban and rural areas. To give life to the partnership among the governments, several policies and programs have been initiated in the past. These include the National Water Reform of 2004 and a recently launched Partnership for Expanded Water Supply, Sanitation and Hygiene, PWASH.
We started with the policy. In 2000, there was the first water supply and sanitation policy, which the government put in place. And the essence of that policy was to see how collaborative efforts can address the issue of water supply and sanitation in Nigeria. And in that, there was cost sharing that was included in that policy. And in that cost sharing, the federal government said, look, I as federal government am ready to bankroll 30% of the capital cost for urban water supply. And we started that. And because of that, a number of schemes have been put in place. And we were doing that through so many areas. One, we can do it as counterpart funding to projects. There are times also, if the project is not ready, the state is not ready, we invest directly in the infrastructure and hand over to the state, or we can use it to counterpart fund some development partners' efforts. But this hasn't been yielding the results.
The federal government is also working out other plans and finding solutions to the challenge of water supply in the country with other projects in the pipeline. However, with all these projects coming on stream, there is now the fear of readiness of a state government to play their role of operation and maintenance of these life-saving projects.